One of the most asked questions that I've gotten on my Gilded Age videos is how did the Scots become rich? And how were there so many African Americans with money at the time? And the answer is simple, but I definitely think it underscores a much bigger concern, which is barriers to entry. If you're asking this question, I assume that you're aware that there are huge barriers to entry for African Americans during this time period in practically every space imaginable. Given that, how did African Americans at this time make money? Well, they made money the same way many white people made money. There were doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, there were bankers, there were bakers, there were shop owners, there were teachers, there were deans, there were school presidents, there were professors, there were scientists. They made money in a lot of the same ways we make money today. But one of the things that I also think this highlights is that there are a lot of underserved communities during this time, and white people would not fill them. So who had to do that? We did. And that helps to build wealth as well. There were many who acquired their 40 acres and a mule post-slavery. Not all of them. There were also some terrible tricks by the US government to acquire that back. Another story for another day. So on one hand, let's say you did manage to get your 40 acres and a mule. It probably wasn't going to be in the best areas or on the best land, most fertile, but sometimes you end up with a Sarah Rector. Sometimes you end up striking black gold, literally. So there are those rare instances. However, there is a darker history to how some African Americans made money at this time. You might go further down south. You might be the child of an enslaved woman and a plantation owner. You can acquire wealth. A lot of times that can bleed its way in the worst ways into your communities. And that is how some African Americans were able to acquire wealth more rapidly than others. There is also instances of colorism, again, rearing its ugly head in certain spaces. Lighter skinned people were able to apply for jobs and take jobs that darker skinned people couldn't at times, many times. That also plays a role in how rapidly you're able to build and acquire wealth. Nonetheless, you have these individuals who do have it. There were also many freed African Americans at the time as well. So they had a bit of a head start ahead of their enslaved counterparts, but in no way, shape, or form would I ever want somebody to think that they had it easy. Given that, the bottom line up front is entrepreneurship, doctors, lawyers, teachers, professors, shop owners, architects, engineers, scientists, pharmacists. Sometimes they just inherited wealth through one channel or another. But if you can think it was available back then. I should add firefighters, which, if you know the history of firemen and firefighting, that greatly shaped the way firefighting is done now. Anyways, drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. We'll see you in this next episode of The Gilded Age, and I will see you guys in my next video.